Membros de um grupo ultra-ortodoxo judeu foram obrigados a deixar a aldeia onde viviam no oeste da Guatemala após desavenças culturais e religiosas com os habitantes locais. Os 230 membros da comunidade começaram na sexta-feira a abandonar a aldeia de San Juan a Laguna, situada na margem de um lago. Nesta atitude contra nós, somos acusados de coisas que não fizemos. Legalmente, como guatemaltecos, que é a maioria, e os estrangeiros, temos o direito de viver onde quisermos. Há que respeitar a lei do país. Não queremos outro holocausto judeu. É por essa razão que partimos desta maneira, rapidamente e sem pensar muito sobre isso, mas é muito triste. No meu caso, vivo aqui há 7 anos. A decisão foi tomada pelo Conselho de Anciãos da aldeia após terem sido goradas as tentativas de entendimento com o grupo judeu ultra-ortodoxo, cujos alguns membros foram acusados de maltratar locais e turistas. Na origem dos diferentes está a arrogância e o facto de pagarem o que entendiam e não o preço marcado nas mercadorias. Entre os membros da comunidade judia figuram canadianos recentemente chegados, alegadamente envolvidos em casos de abuso de menores no seu país.
Hi, my name is Mendy Levy. I escaped Lev Tahor. This is me just over 3 years ago. And these are some of the leaders in Lev Tahor right now.
If everything is perfect, something is wrong. Very happy to see that you are really interesting to get to the bottom, to the truth, because we want people to know the truth.
Lev Tahor is a cult that is based on 3 things: anger, sadness, and pain. That's what Lev Tahor is.
Israel is also a cult, Muslim is a cult, Muhammad is a cult. Everybody has their kind of cult. And this is what we also have, this amount of cult we have.
If someone do not want to live in the community, we're going to be more than happy to help them to live.
No, right now if someone wants to get out of Lev Tahor, you just can't. Everything is locked. My father always had a thought, maybe he wants to leave the community, and he already told my mom. I already heard this once. But yeah, I loved my father. The main reason how my father ended up dying in the cold was because Lev Tahor doesn't let anybody go to any doctor without permission.
I didn't know that there's a crime or there's abuse if you don't pay for a person's private hospital.
Yeah, he could have been alive if they would have let him go before to the doctor, for sure. Since my father died, they basically took away all my brothers from the house with force. For my mother, they said, okay, so now they don't have a father. Who's gonna give them chinuch? Who's gonna take care of them in more like in a religious way? So they said you have to place them in different houses, like in the leaders' houses, stuff like that.
Not to compromise our chinuch and our well-being and the feeling of the children.
I really wanted to see my mother, and every time I went to see my mother, I just got hit from Weingarten and stuff, like terribly, like in front of my mom's house. She had to hear me crying that I just want to come see her. Every time I look back to it, it's very painful, but I don't know why they did it.
Because we really want to have good for our kids and the best for our kids. And we think that there's no way in our generation without young relationship. In our community, they get to mature earlier because this is the education, this is the people who live in here.
So the main reason why I decided to leave and I said enough is enough was because they tried to force me to get married to a 12-year-old girl that was my first cousin. And I didn't want and she didn't want.
That the both parents are involved, and teacher are involved, they're always gonna find the best solution.
He made us cry in the room, like, to have to say that I want, you know?
When they said young marriages, when we still lived in Canada when I got married, the youngest was 16, 17, which is okay completely with the legal system. My husband was 16 or something when we got married, and made a regular marriage license, everything, and we waited until I was engaged, who was before 16, and we waited until he should reach the age of 16. So the parents now at this time, we do whatever we feel we need to do at this point.
If we see according to the story that you have to marry at 10, we'll tell you marry at 10. But it's not according to the story.
My wife was 16 years old when I married her, legally in New York. And now, 28 years later on, I can't imagine better life.
The way Lev Tahor found a place in Guatemala is they didn't bought a property or something. It's just like a big forest. They took a tractor, they literally cut off all the trees, moved the rocks and stuff, and they started building tents. So it's basically wood and plastic. And their roof is a little metal, like aluminum. The lucky ones had shipping containers, which is more, it's easier, it's better. No air conditioning. Besides, Rabbi has air conditioning in his container. And he has a house too, very nice house. They had a lot of problems in the beginning. They had snakes, animals around, a lot of spiders, dangerous ones. Because it was a big forest, and Guatemala is a hot country, Babies play on the ground. Most of the kids wear just Crocs. They don't have shoes. From 3 years old, you have to already have all this black clothing. It's called Mishpat Azuaf.
Our rabbi wrote a book of 300 or 400 pages regarding the levush, and he wrote about it, just about the face covering, about 50 pages.
So the woman asked our rabbi, he didn't want to do it. We want to cover the face because we don't on the stairs inside the building all the day, up and down, and we all the time meet with other people that we are ashamed to do that. Our rabbi didn't want to do that. They came 2, 3, 4 times, and then
we try to investigate if it was a real way to do it or not. We don't want to put chumras. It took a lot of time, a few months, to have authorized.
The women start to ask, I remember when it's happened. Okay?
Let's say in Sicily there's some group called the group of the Shal.
Judeus.
Yes. So they, for example, they put on the heads, before they put a cake, they put a piece of plastic like this, so it shouldn't see the shape of the head. So for this strange stuff, so we never do it.
Kids here are very happy. If there wouldn't be any abuse, how could kids be happy?
Any abuse possible was happening there. Any abuse. Whatever you can imagine, things that we would ever think that would happen there, yes, everything you could think of.
The Provincial Human Rights Commission has released its report into the handling of the children from Lev Tahor. It says youth protection officials took too long to intervene.
There was no one single child protection abuse case, never ever.
An investigation in 2013 led to allegations of neglect and child abuse.
Never, ever. For sure not Marcus, for sure not beating up children.
The political authorities in Quebec City will make sure that the system is going to change and that sort of situation will not happen again.
If we thought that a Pretoria we have to give today Marcus, we'll tell you we have to give Marcus, but we don't think a Pretoria business today can give Marcus.
So Malchus you could get any time in Lev Tahor. If the rabbi decides right now to give you Malchus, he would give you Malchus.
Just by Marcus because we give everyday Marcus. That's just right. Ask everybody if you receive once Marcus. Do a strip search if you want on everybody.
They would just put me on a table with a belt and achas vachas.
Where is the place where they give Marcus for 11 years, 11 and a half years? Kulebia was here for 11 and a half years and has not witnessed any of these things.
Sexual abuse is mostly with the main rabbi was happening. He was doing physical stuff with boys. Mostly, maybe with girls too, but I for sure know with boys. Talking about the rabbi of Lev Tahor was literally having kids sleeping with him in his bed. And that would never be forgotten. You know how to convince that you have to do it for your tikkun. He literally said, you have to come sleep, whatever you told us to, it's because it's for a tikkun. That's what he said, a tikkun.
They didn't punish, they gave tikkun. My tikkun was usually Malchus. Malchus I would get a lot from the Annullus wife, Schiffer Goldman, or from Gittel Mindel Rosner. The last time I got Malchus was with Goldman. I had to go get the belt and tell the principal that I wanted Malchus. I said, I believe the Eibishter knows that the patch I am receiving will clean my neshama. And like always, I had to take off my clothes. They would tie me up with a gadol, lay me down in front of the whole school, and I got lashes on the back many times. Really, the Bishay is worse than the Malchus. If you cried, you got extra lashes because you have to do tshiva out of love and you're not allowed to cry. After, I had to kiss her hand afterwards. And then she gave me some mister for like 20 minutes, and sometimes I would have to say the whole time.
Every day was just getting hit, punishing, torturing. I didn't want to experience it every day again. I just wanted to not see myself again and not feel any of these actions and feelings. So I decided I want to kill myself. I tried drinking bleach. So what I did is I put a bunch of sugar and I tried to drink it. I should just try to find myself out of the world. I couldn't experience Lev Tahor anymore. It was just, I couldn't take it. I couldn't see myself again in the morning like that. I have to take a break.
Mendy was not alone. Someone else was desperate to get out. In November 2018, Sarah Fega-Teller, the daughter of Lev Tahor's founder, managed to escape to the U.S. with her small children. She said that her brother, Nachman Hellbrands, who inherited the leadership, was more extreme than her father, and she deemed the group not safe to keep her children there.
The rabbi's younger son took over, and he became way worse than the first one. Like the old rabbi wouldn't marry off 12-year-old girls. That wouldn't happen at that time. But the new rabbi that took over, he was marrying off 12-year-old girls forcibly.
Insecure and desperate for power, Nachman Hellbrands enacted new restrictions and customs with harsh consequences for disobeying or questioning his new rules.
Something that could happen to me, the rabbi would tell you, don't talk to anyone for 1 year. Like, he literally started doing these things. He could tell you, because you didn't follow this, you're being taken away from your house, you have to come stay in shul for 1-2 weeks. Depends on what you did,
His enforcers are a group called the Hanhala, led by 3 Weingarten brothers and their sister. 2 weeks after the founding leader died, Nachman Hellbrands insisted his sister, a 24-year-old mother of 4, eat bread that contained sesame, a food she was known to be allergic to. She was afraid to disobey the new leader. After an immediate allergic reaction, she died. Her brother blamed the death on her lack of faith in him as the new Rebbe. He did not respond well to his other sister, Sarah Fega, escaping Lev Tahor. According to the U.S. Justice Department, Nachman Hellbrands directed the Hanhala to successfully kidnap 2 of his sister's children from within the U.S., attempting to bring them to Guatemala.
There is 2 children, yes, the 14-year-old and the 16-year-old, yes, correct.
3 weeks after the kidnapping, their plan was foiled when they were caught in Mexico with the 2 children. One was a boy, age 12, the other, a girl, age 14. While in Mexico, they reunited the young girl with her 20-year-old husband. Their marriage had been prearranged by Nachman Hellbrands 2 years prior, when the girl was 12 and her husband was 18.
She was married, yes? She was married in Guatemala, and because he wanted to return her to her father and save her from abuse, which we had proof that she was abused in the United States, it's called transporting a minor for illegal sexual action.
According to the FBI, after the kidnapping, there were 2 other known attempts at kidnapping the children. They charged Nachman Hellbrands and members of the Hanhala for the brazen kidnapping and subsequent attempted kidnappings.
It's a lie. It's a lie. Like this indictment stuck to lies. But let me tell you something again. It's not a lie and it's a lie. I mean, we don't have a problem to go take this girl. You know why? Because it's legal. She's 16 years old. But we never tried to have the 7-year-old or 10-year-old because we never get from them a call for help. Let's say even yes, it's also legal because it says clearly in the law of the federal government that if the child is abused, you may take the child even if it's 14.
The Hanhala members charged in this multi-country operation include Nachman Hellbrands, Yaakov Weingarten, detained in Guatemala, March 2021, Shmuel and Yoel Weingarten, arrested July 2021, Meir Rosner, Yaakov Rosner, Aaron Rosner, Matis Yahu, Moshe Malka, Mordechai Yoel Malka, the husband of this Weingarten sister, all arrested in the U.S. With most of the leadership detained, the Weingarten sister is the current head of Hanhala. All three of her brothers are awaiting extradition to the United States.
That we try to do, that he should be tried here. Because if he's tried here, we got innocent.
I don't know why the government of the United States has such a sloppy prosecutors making such a weird job. And they're getting no things even such a weird job.
I don't know if they didn't realize, or Hashem helped us, they made so many mistakes, so many big mistakes, that it's their own grave. Because it comes out.
They presented, for example, the new charge they presented, they quoted the Guatemalan law regarding assaults. Yes? But this law that they quoted, it's not valid because it was overwritten 10 years ago. So this title, this title is not any more valid than the new title. According to the new title, there's no crime. Because the new title says 14 years and the old title was saying 16 years. So she was 14 years at this time. So according to the new title of 12 years ago,
it's like an adult.
And she's an adult, according to Guatemalan law.
According to this chart.
So they made a big mistake. They quoted. So in the United States, it's not such a big problem. Want to try someone and quote expired Guatemalan law. But when you come to extradition, and you bring laws that is not valid,
the other country will not give them out.
Will not give them out for that.
We came here to save Hashem, and that's what our purpose. So people say that too much is too much. You have to be normal. What do you mean normal? To be like a lot of goyim are.
Anyone not following halakha, the laws, the way they see it, is considered a goy, a Gentile.
Honestly, he's now a goy. He's not keeping any Torah mitzvahs.
Yaakov Weingarten said it's commanded to be a martyr rather than live as a Gentile.
They called us to a meeting.
Someone from the Weingarten?
Yeah.
Okay.
They say that they were people calling them to come here and take the children with them. And he said that instead the procedure will be as follows, he says. When they come, all the men will go down to talk to them. And meanwhile, all the women run up here and each mother take the children. And as the shechita is made, take a knife and cut.
Take a knife?
Yeah.
And kill with a knife?
Yeah. Take a knife and go with the and they say I don't remember the right or wrong.
Simone.
Yeah, and he said cut it and close the eyes of the children and cut. And because you have many children, then you start with the small ones. So the big ones can understand what you're saying. And you as mothers start saying that it's very painful what you're going to do, but it's necessary because the ones that were coming are coming to take the children away. And better the children die, better have children dead than living with the boy. He said that that will be taken in account like the shechita of a pure korban. So then we got scared, really scared.
If there's anyone who's funding for Lev Tahor, who's helping Lev Tahor financially, should know they're giving money to abuse people, to torture people.
Absolutely. We just raised, I've told you, $400,000. For us is a very, very big amount. Now other people who live in New York, in Europe, in Israel, they send, and we told them where to send it. A person, very, very known person in the Satmar community, gave us $60,000.
If your daughter was someplace that she's locked up, she's sexually assaulted, she cries, what will we do? And I can prove it to you. If we didn't have the proof of that, we also would never do it.
When you're gonna be able to talk to her, I have to make sure she doesn't sit beyond her and told her, if you're gonna say one word about that, I want to explain what's gonna happen. They told her already, you are putting people in jail. When you're crying to them for help, you're putting people in jail. It's your responsibility. Wow. So be quiet. It's gonna be a question that she's gonna have confidence to answer. She's gonna know, she's not gonna be afraid to say yes or not. I don't know how you can make sure that it's gonna be free of influence.
Any information that I was sharing today had nothing to do with Orthodox. It's only Lev Tahor, talking about 60 families, a couple hundred people. The people inside are good people, innocent people, but I'm mainly talking about the leaders who are brainwashing them and are abusing them. The people are just brainwashed. And that's it for today. Thank you so much.
If we are bad people, not just you don't have to support us. You have to put the people in the right place. If it's prison, it's prison. Absolutely. You are very straight. We appreciate that.
I think you should have more betuchen Hashem, you know why? Because you have to have betuchen that if it's a bad place, Hashem has its way how to fix stuff.
Okay, you are in a very good mood. So it seems from you that Rabbi Governor, Rabbi and my brother asking you for help to kidnap them.